Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of what we call the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered texts of the various Old Testament prophets. It became the Book of Zion. And I found contained within the Book of Zion a clear and present depiction of our current situation in stark detail. And it left me a set of instructions that I was to undertake that was actually projected to put us into this position. And it did. It worked exactly as it said it was going to work. Because everything that the prophecy teaches is in our life. And that's what this program is about. And the very last thing that I am required to do in order to set the stage for the fulfillment of prophecy is to publish peace. And that's what I'm doing here on YouTube and social media through the Pot Smokers Bible channel and the reading of the manuscripts of the two books that I have written. Now, I wrote the Pot Smokers Bible in order to qualify for publication because the Book of Zion is written entirely in Bible verse. Book, chapter, verse, all laid out, combined together like a jigsaw puzzle. And it gave to us exactly what we have today. And in order to fulfill prophecy, I'm going to take up where I left off last time, reading to you from the 28th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible. It doesn't contain any of the chapters from the Book of Zion because we finished that last chapter. This is about the Temple of Zion, and that is the name of this chapter. And it goes like this. You see, each of us has an emotional generator. It emits emotional energy. We call this our aura. Our aura is our quantum field. It's made up of all the emotions that we are feeling at any given moment. If we don't express an emotion physically, it remains in our energy field. Our life force or soul is our generator. It generates this emotional energy that we express or contain. Now, the aspect of the emotional energy is determined by experience. If the soul is in a good place with positive energy, then it will feel happy and generate positive energy. Likewise, if it has negative things going on, it will be negative emotions that are generated. Therefore, it will generate negative energy. This experience determines aspects of emotional generation. Over time, this practice of positive aspect created a positive field of quantum energy, a bubble of positive energy that was sustained. And I'm talking about the Temple of Zion itself. The members used to tell me that entering the temple was like stepping into another place. All the negative energy out there stayed out there. People would come in with a great big smile, as if all the cares of the world were gone. After the big hug, we would sit down and smoke a bowl. Now, sometimes I would have to pass the bowl without taking a hit because I'd just be too stoned. Our ritual was a hug, a greeting, and a bowl. Then we would talk business. Once business was taken care of, by business I mean, getting the smoke, providing sacrament to my followers. Once that was taken care of, we would talk about any relevant issues that the person had in their lives. Sometimes this would be casual conversation, but if there was a problem in that member's life, Then we would talk about it. Emotional issues were expressed, but it would be analytically through speech instead of through action. And it would dissipate in the positive field. This would empower the member with a positive aspect that acted like its negative counterpart, money. This cleansing works. It would then turn it would This cleansing would then turn into a more casual conversation. Once the members' needs were addressed, then the other members present would join into the conversation. Each member spent as much time as was required to meet their needs. Some members were so stressed and busy that they would seldom stay longer than what was required for their basic needs. These would give me a hug and leave having had their needs met. But most members would linger to enjoy the good company, intellectual conversations, or the camaraderie of video gaming, TV, music, or whatever else came to mind at the temple. I enjoyed the conversations most of all. The temple was seldom empty. It was average to have around 10 people present, half of which were resident staff or roommates. Um, the temple was always busy. Each member had to be recommended by an active member. Each applicant was given an hour or so long explanation of what the temple was. This was required. Each member knew before they joined that I was seeking to defy the state openly in order to force the state to arrest me. Each member agreed to follow temple practices. Those who were brought to the temple as applicants were brought by members for consideration. But I never sought new members. In no part of my declaration did I encourage anyone to go out and spread the word. I just created a sacred space that was so awesome that my friends, i.e., the members, wanted their friends to meet me and enjoy this sacred space called the Temple of Zion. Through conversation and the acts of kindness we expressed at the temple, we created a sense of self that my people overall have never experienced. I taught them the truth about drug use, ancient practices, and God. And in doing so, I gave us all a sense of self-worth as priests. And I pointed out that we all do good and can choose to do more good. We talked about everything and ended up with our own identity. My members tell me that I made a big difference in their lives. I gave them a sense of worth that the war on drugs had taken from them. They found inner worth. My people realized that they were good people who had done no wrong. That knowledge, proven by prophecy, made my members self-assured. That love of self gave them a whole new way of life. They found justification. It took the cops 7 years to realize that no one was ever going to narc on me. One guy joined the temple, then robbed it. But that was a mistake. He was literally run out of town. My members loved me. They refused to narc no matter how much they were harassed. In the end, they simply raided the temple in a no-knock warrant. But during those 7 years, the members created for themselves a new identity as a unique people, a people who had every reason to enjoy their lives according to their own ideas. We created the idea of what a Zionite is, and we are beautiful. We are good, and we are more than we were before we got high. Those 7 years gave birth to a new, unique thought form called the Nation of Zion. And this book is the realization of this national identity. I could not have written this book without the input of those 50 or so members who imagined with me how we lowly, poor, hounded hippies could transform our world into a more utopian place. We didn't seek utopia. We were just exploring the possibilities of the prophecy. Those possibilities became this book. It was the daily conversations about our current lives and the lives we wished to create when we succeeded that formed the new social order that we envisioned. We took our current problems apart one by one and figured out how to try and fix it. It help it helps us each cope on uh, with life on a daily basis. It also let us expand our solutions to deal with larger related social issues. We became a think tank. We would have these conversations that sometimes went on for weeks as we pick things apart to find the true issue and then how to resolve it as best we could realistically. And we did try to be realistic. The prophecy gave us hints about how to deal with these issues. We spent 7 years using thought experiments to think things through. The governments of this world tells you that drug users are stupid. They lie. This book may contain some very crazy concepts, but in order to articulate this level of insanity, I had to first be intelligent enough to think of these concepts. I may be crazy, but I am articulate. I am not an idiot, incapable of coherent thought. We talked every subject covered in this book, and we tackled them. We designed the guild system. We envisioned the High Council of Elders. We created the office of the priesthood. We created the temple designed after the ancient temples model of Delphi and Greece. Serving the community, both physically and spiritually. We became a community within our community that provided for its members, as well as for strangers. We studied all aspects of life, then created a plan to create a new society. That plan became this book. The website for this server contains okay, this talks about a website that I've designed but have not yet gotten online. So this is something that I have in the waiting. The website for this series contains entry forms for Zionites who wish to become a part of Zion, those who wish to convert to Zionism. These forms are for um, various services and memberships to guilds and the priesthood. Each form was conceived of in the think tank. The citizenship form, the guild entry forms, the consensus forms, the applications for establishing way temples or local Zionite temples, all of these ideas came from the Temple of Zion, the think tank. Every drug user has the potential to become a priest. However, not every drug user is meant to be a priest. Some Zionites are meant to provide for the nation in unrelated ways, so no one should feel bad if the priesthood doesn't appeal to them. Drug use only happens if the soul is ready to evolve, having outgrown society. And there I am going to stop for this episode. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your guild choice when we get to Camp Zion. And If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. You just may be a priest of the Most High God of Israel. My name is Zion. I am the Zion of the Most High God of Israel, the prophet foretold in the Old Testament, and I've come to set us free. So I'm never going to say goodbye. I always say later.